Hey guys, it's Andrew with AndroidCentral.com, and it's time to look at the HTC First, or what's better known, it seems like, as the Facebook phone recently. But this isn't a phone made by Facebook. Of course, it is made by HTC, and you may be able to figure that out even without looking at the logo or the name, just based on this solid polycarbonate body that some people may say is kind of uninspired, but we like to say that it's just minimalist because it really is a nice design and kind of just signifies what HTC's been doing with its kind of mid-range handsets lately, and even some of its high-end phones in 2012. Before we give you a full walkthrough around the outside, let's talk about the inside. We of course have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 inside. Performs extremely well as far as we've noted in the first few days here. Not going to be as slow as you may think, considering that it does slot underneath the 600 and the 800, which are coming out in some of the higher end phones. That's accompanied by 1 GB of RAM, and even though this is a nice thin device, we do have a 2000 milliamp hour battery in there, of course non-removable, as you can see. Going around those edges though, starting on the right side, we have a micro USB port and a micro SIM slot, which we're seeing on nearly every phone nowadays, popped out with a little pusher there. On the bottom, we have a very signature HTC drilled speaker grill. And then you can see these edges are nice and round, kind of reminiscent of just a flatter HTC One X, just the exact same all the way through. Over on this side here, we have a volume rocker, sticks out just barely, and it's nice and clicky as well. Around the top, we have a zooming problem. We have a 3.5mm headphone jack, secondary microphone, and a nice and clicky power button on top. Of course, we do have a 4.3 inch display on the front, which is a lot smaller than we've seen recently, 4.7, 4.8, 5.0, 6 point whatever. They're getting a little crazy. But at 4.3 inches, we are looking at an SLCD3, Super LCD3 from HTC here. 1280 by 720, great viewing angles, great color reproduction at 341 ppi. It's kind of hard to argue with the display density as well. The screen looks as nice as every other Super LCD from HTC does, and it's just really nice. It's a joy to use, and we wish that more manufacturers could pump out displays like this. Down at the bottom, we have 3 capacitive keys, and they're on a very small bezel as well. But they are regular back, home, and yes, menu. Little line denotes menu. And the combination with the Facebook home means that gets a little weird because we're just used to not using the menu key anymore, and we prefer the overflow settings key up at the top. And it also means that it can be a little harder to multitask with Facebook home. But we can get to that in the separate software video. Up top, you'll see peeking out there is, if we can get it to focus, we are having major focus issues today, a front-facing camera of 1.9 megapixels up there, and also you can see over here we have a status LED blinking, which is off by default, which is really interesting. We actually didn't think it was there until we dug into the software a little bit. But I was trying to get some reflections going on the screen because you can see how well the glass is kind of molded off the edge, so that it flows right into the hardware very nicely, and it makes the whole thing feel like it was kind of just extruded as a solid piece, even though of course the plastic and frame and the glass in the front are different. So that is your general walkthrough here. We'll get more to the camera, this 5 megapixel shooter here. We'll get more into that in the full review, of course. But for now, this is your basic look at the hardware on the HTC First. Thanks for taking a look, guys.